Abdallah, for taking time to speak with us today. It is such a great pleasure, of course, and we very much appreciate this opportunity to gain insights from the ICC's perspective with regards to these developments that have been happening.
You are very much welcome, and welcome at the ICC headquarters here in The Hague.
Thank you. So let's begin, Dr. Abdallah. For our first question, former President Duterte's camp claims he was illegally arrested in the Philippines and brought to the ICC in the Netherlands, which they argue has no jurisdiction over the Philippines since we have already withdrawn from the Rome Statute. What is the ICC's response to this?
I think that there are two different questions here. One is the issue of the arrests, and if there are requests regarding the lawfulness of the arrest itself, it can be presented to the judges who will decide on it. Second question is the question of jurisdiction of the ICC over crimes allegedly committed in Philippines before its withdrawal from the Rome Statute. And that's something on which the ICC has already been clear, whether it's in regard to Philippines or Burundi, which is another state that also withdrew from the ICC Rome Statute. So the court's jurisprudence has already indicated that the ICC retains jurisdiction even after the withdrawal of a state, but only for the crimes that are alleged were committed during the period when the state was a state party to the ICC Rome Statute. So for the Philippines, I think from 2011, 2012 until 2019, this is the period in which Philippines was a state party. So crimes allegedly committed during this period in Philippines were under the ICC jurisdiction and remain under the ICC jurisdiction. The withdrawal does not affect these obligations and this jurisdiction of the ICC. It only affects the future. So after the withdrawal become effective, if new crimes are committed, then they will not fall under the ICC jurisdiction. But the jurisdiction was already there during the period when the Philippines were a state party, or Burundi, which is the other example, and then the exercise of the jurisdiction can be after the withdrawal. There is no problem in that. But the application of the law on international treaties means that this jurisdiction was already existing, and thus the ICC can retain it.
After the arrest of the former President Duterte, was it necessary for the Interpol and the Philippine authorities to bring Duterte first to a local court in the Philippines before bringing him here in The Hague?
Well, this is a matter that depends on each state internal laws. So in general theory, there is a process when a person is arrested in a certain country before he is surrendered to the ICC. But these processes can be very different from one state to another. And I'm no expert in the Philippines laws. So this is a matter of internal law on which I cannot actually decide. As I mentioned, the legal process before surrendering a suspect to the ICC can vary from one country to another.
But as far as you are concerned, there is nothing illegal in terms of his arrest.
I can simply say if there is any challenge to the lawfulness and legality of the arrest, it can be submitted to the judges, and then judges will decide on that. I will not speculate on a possible request and what might be the outcome for this request.
It is up to the judges to decide on it. What is the ICC's reaction to the Interpol's implementation of the arrest warrant against Duterte? And how would you describe the process of serving the diffusion notice by the Interpol and the Philippine government?
I think that the important thing to remember is the idea that there are international accountability mechanisms in order to ensure that when there is an arrest warrant, that the states cooperate with the court. Interpol is one of the channels to help with these mechanisms. And as we have indicated before, we're also grateful to the Philippines' commitment to this international accountability mechanism because it's important. It's important to clarify what is the reality of what happened. It's important for the victims to see that justice is working for them. It's important also even for the suspects to clarify whether they are really guilty or not. So the process has to take place in order to ensure that truth is revealed, and then if there is a responsibility, then the persons are held accountable.
Did the ICC or did the Philippine government coordinate with the ICC before the former president's arrest?
I think that there is an arrest warrant that was issued by the ICC judges, and of course, naturally, when an arrest warrant is delivered, then it is communicated to the states on the territories of which the suspect might be present. So it's totally normal that after an arrest warrant is delivered, we contact the states to ensure the surrender of the arrest and surrender of the suspect.
Because I understand there was a statement before by the former, there was a statement before by President Bongbong Marcos saying that we will not cooperate with the ICC since it has no longer jurisdiction to the Philippines. But right now, the former president was surrendered to the ICC. That's why the question of whether the Philippine government coordinated with the ICC prior to the arrest of the former president.
As I was mentioning, we need to distinguish the issue of the jurisdiction from before and after the withdrawal of the Philippines. Crimes that allegedly were committed before the withdrawal of the Philippines from the ICC Rome Statute remains under ICC jurisdiction. So the ICC has jurisdiction over these past alleged crimes, but there is no jurisdiction currently over Philippines for if crimes would be committed after this withdrawal. So the issue of jurisdiction is different from the issue of the cooperation. Now, the issue of the cooperation, as I said, it was for the Philippines authorities to cooperate with the international accountability mechanisms and with the ICC, and we are really grateful that this was done to make the truth clear for everyone and to see the process of justice working. As for the cooperation with the Philippines, as I mentioned, after an ICC pretrial chamber delivers an arrest warrant, it has to be communicated to the different states in order to ensure the arrest and surrender of the suspect. So it's a natural process.
All right. Some view Duterte's case as a gift to the ICC, noting that the court's conviction record primarily involves African warlords. They suggest that this case is a significant boost for the ICC. How do you respond to such claims?
Well, first, I think all cases before the ICC are about very serious crimes, about mass crimes. By definition, the jurisdiction of the ICC is about war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide, and in certain cases, the crime of aggression. These are very serious and very grave crimes. So all cases before the ICC are important. And for us, it's very important to always remember that why we are doing all of this is because victims have suffered and they deserve to know the truth. And accountability has to be there in order to ensure for the future, a better future for everyone.